This is a day in the life of a chef. I like to start my day with a nice relaxing bike ride.
Indicate, move it, brown shoes.
Next up, recipe planning, the favourite part of my day, where my creativity really gets to shine. Next, I turn my attention to the most important people, the team, where I get to inspire them.
If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain. You know which philosopher said that? Dolly Parton. And people say she's just a big parrot.
Next, the most important part, service, where it's important that you lead by example and always keep you cool.
Listen, stop fucking worrying about your flashy jackets costing 50 quid. Worry about giving your fucking job, alright?
It's easy to slip into bad habits as a chef. Keep your body in tow just as you keep your mind in tow. Remember that you're only as good as your last check, so keep the team pushing all the way through service.
Fucking donkey.
As a London chef, I've got a wide circle of friends and I visit them often to support local businesses. And that is the day in the life of a chef.
So many places I've worked at that this matches. It's shifting, but from 10 years ago, I would say this is very prevalent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we've got, I'm a millennial manager.
Oh, yeah, let's see.
I'm a millennial manager. I don't really need to know why you're taking PTO. Just let me know if you're going to be here.
Paid time off.
I'm a millennial manager. I don't care when you do your work. Just do it. I'm a millennial manager. I'm not judging you for running errands in the middle of the day because most likely I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm a millennial manager. The only time I check your team status is if I want to talk shit and I got to make sure you're not sharing your screen. I'm a millennial manager. I actually believe in work-life balance, so if you're checking emails when you're out sick or on vacation, I'm gonna yell at you. I'm a millennial manager. I was traumatized by bad bosses in the past, so now I'm trying to overcompensate now that I'm actually in a leadership role.
I don't know.
I'll give you the complication here, right? The ending makes it a parody. She's gone, I'm overcompensating, right? I'm still in the victim circle. I only know what bad parenting looks like, so I'm going to do the complete opposite. The problem is, before that, almost everything she said, those are things that I literally have said or have done as a leader.
Yeah, and why is that wrong? Just because some old grumpy face here is showing us her...
No. So the grumpy face is part of an alter ego.
Okay.
All right, so she's a management consultant.
Oh, okay. She's putting on a persona bad manager.
Correct. So ignore the person on the left. This is all about what the millennial manager is saying. I don't care if you run errands. I don't care what your team status is. All those type of things. But then at the end, again, the I'm overcompensating.
Yeah, and that's where it takes away from the mature conversation around management styles. You're doing the opposite of what a bad parent's doing based on you had a bad parent. That's not really a style, right? It's a reaction to trauma. There has to be a why to your behaviour as well. As long as I think people are reflecting on that, I think that's the most important thing.
But this is where I get very confused by this video. I don't know what the takeaway is meant to be. Because let's say that...
Because I didn't appreciate the scale.
Well...
now that you've clarified she's playing the character.
Yeah. But that's not the problem. This management consultant has still put in the whole clip, which includes... I'm overcompensating. If that is true, what that implies is the pendulum has to swing back somewhere in the middle. I don't really know where that is because at no point is this saying that this manager doesn't hold people accountable.
That's exactly the point. You're right. That's why I didn't appreciate the scale of the alter ego, because if you extend your KPI question and the outcomes, if this team is highly productive, delivers high quality work on time or ahead of deadline, what's the problem?
When I go back to this parody of the day in the life of the chef, this guy is not holding people accountable.
The donkeys.
It'll be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
I don't know if I'm just overreading it. I've taken it maybe a little personally because I actually relate to a lot of things that have been said there, and not even intentional things that I do. They're part of just the way I like to operate. So
yeah, I mean, and look, every workplace is different, right? So there's symbolism of behaviour and things like that. But if we just put that to one side.
And then it's very hard for me to emotionally separate that the things that I do are part of a typecast of the millennial manager, because I know all people that have this type of approach. That's why I was so shocked when I was like, oh, wow, that's called out.
Yeah, but again, I think it's a false label as a millennial manager, because what it's telling us is also the old grumpy Lindas are not willing to entertain new ways of working. And look, for me, the most important thing, if you put your business hat on, unfortunately, sometimes we have to do that.
Yes, KPI outputs.
It's productivity
Yeah.
as well. And you can make workforce changes and culture changes as long as it either keeps productivity the same or improves productivity. And if those then come with a culture benefit and makes people happier to be where they are, then that's a win-win. You know, because we know the Linda style of management, I know it's a character, people aren't really happy or engaged in general. And look, you don't have to do all of those elements. I mean, having flexibility to run errands, I mean, most of the time, the errands most people run.
Is that the scale you're
run.
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the school run. Like, you know,
Yeah,
so you can enforce 9 to 5 and then say to the parents, hey, you know, I think picking up the kids to 1 or 2 days a week is not on. And you go, well, okay. But
Well, the response is, you know, the standard response is, well,
Using laundry machine to do laundry. Back in my day, this is how you did laundry, okay?
back in my day,
I didn't have to do that. I made it work.
I made it work because, you know, we didn't need a dual income, you know. Yeah, I just think the scale, you know, because some workplaces, they do have these managers. It's all about symbolism of enforcing behaviours and punishing people. But these teams are not productive at all. I just think it's a bit black and white to scale
Fair enough.
and to call it millennial management when really...
So what's the takeaway here?
I don't think the millennial manager tag is helpful. I think that it comes with judgment when really it's, hey, we're living in a new paradigm post-COVID. You know, a lot of people are parents. The dividend to flexibility that doesn't come at the expense of productivity. And yes, there is the most important thing, like you said, is accountability. So these behaviours shouldn't be driven by trauma or overreaction to bad bosses. It should be driven by, look, genuine needs of your team and flexible work and even adjusting to your team, you know. Like, you could probably argue that if you don't have people who've got kids or family in your team, and let's say there's a pool of graduates, they probably want a different type of flexibility, or they may not want certain perks over others. They may want to be thrown in the deep end or work on a difficult project or something. There's no one solution to everything. So I think pigeonholing management styles isn't helpful.
The person who made this video, is it a parody?
Yes, because of the last line.
Yeah. Well done parody, to be fair, because until that point, it was like a good news story. I'm really curious about who's salty enough about those type of things to make a parody about it. And I'd have to assume it's not younger demographic, it's older. But then this is not in the style of the older demographic. I just don't know why they would produce this. There's so much incongruency here.
Because of that last line, when you then reflect on what they've said, they're trying to insinuate all those perks or differences in management style is leading to lower productivity and less accountability.
I think this is. I actually think this is made by a manager that's of the millennial generation that is old school style.
Yes, absolutely. And they're trying to claim these new management techniques are unproductive and take you backwards in the workplace.
Curious what the comments are. I was traumatized by bad bosses in the past. Linda's visible excitement. So Linda is the alter ego.
Oh, I'm liking the Linda payout. Linda's legacy is unraveling. Like her favourite old sweater. Oh, look at this. I'm a little confused. As far as I can tell with the context of your other shorts, Linda is a parody character used to represent inflexible managers who are bad to work for.
Yeah. This is exactly...
But some without the context.
This is what you picked up. You're like, why is she scowling?
What's in the description of the video? Let's have a look.
We will in a minute. It's the young lady will end up like the old lady. It takes age to realise that compassion will be exploited by a lot of people that manage these.
I don't agree with that. I think it's about enforcing accountability that matters.
No, but this is the exact person that we were talking about that generated that type of video. They've assumed there's no accountability.
Yes.
Because they don't understand how can someone be accountable if you're not watching the process. Okay, so the description is, this is parody. I make skits to get the message across it. Okay, Linda is the bad manager as my character.
Interesting. But like you said,
think,
the end line of the Millennial Manager is a little confusing.
In fact, I want to say...
Oh, the original.
No, well, I want to know what comes up. Angry emails, Millennium.
My dear
this is going to be stupid.
child, that's what I do. It's what I live for.
Jesus. I am a Millennial Manager.
I'm a Millennial Manager.
When we have an intense political situation between stakeholder parties, I'll say to my team, leave it with me. And even though it's not like this... You
don't have a sweater?
Oh, man. I do have one question going back to that Linda video. The baby boomer old boss, what were they like? Or does the Millennial Manager actually offer new insights? Is an evolution?
I think it would have been an evolution. They would have been more flexible compared to their previous generation as well. And it's a continual evolution as society changes as broadly too.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
100%.
I don't know. This went different to how I expected because myself, that ending really bothered me.
Yeah, it was confusing. It was so confusing.